Guys. Hi guys, I'm here with the first of 3 videos about regional terms. So I'm going to start sharing my screen with you now. It'll look a little weird for a moment, but once I bring up the PowerPoint, you'll see the PowerPoint. And I'm just going to get my pen ready also because I want to make some notes on here for you on my tablet to add some additional notes. So what are regional terms? These are the words that anatomists use when they're writing medical notes, basically. So doctors, nurses, anyone who's writing a medical note about a patient would be using these regional terms. And a lot of them have Latin or Greek roots, but you'll be able to see some of the words have kind of connections to words that we use in English today that have the same Latin roots. So let's start looking at this picture. So here's the scary picture from your textbook or your lab book that has all the terms on it. So it seems like a lot to take in when you look at this picture, but we're going to break it down and we're going to look at each body part individually. So the first part we're going to look at in this video are all the structures that are on the head. So we're focusing on the head for this video. So let's take a look at 2 of our structures or 2 of our words that we use to describe structures on the head. So first of all, frontal. Frontal is your forehead. That's an O and that's an OR. I have terrible handwriting, as you will discover as we proceed through this course. So frontal means forehead. So this is the frontal region on this person. The reason it's called frontal is there's a bone in there inside your skull, the frontal bone. Now over here, occipital, so on the back of your head where I'm coloring in kind of this region, there's a skull bone that's called the occipital bone. So the back of the head is also called occipital, just like that skull bone. Now here's some more structures on your head. Buccal. So buccal are your cheeks. So your cheeks are buccal. So here's another buccal over this side, the other cheek. And the reason that buccal is called for the cheeks is that there's a muscle in there called the buccinator muscle, which pulls on your mouth when you smile. So that's where the origin of that word came from. And then mental. Mental is the chin. And this one can be hard to remember because everybody wants to put mental with something to do with the brain or higher up in the skull. But mental means chin. And the way I remember this is I think of this statue called the Thinker statue, and he's leaning his chin on his hand here. So I think when I'm thinking, I'm using my mental powers. Mental means chin. I think of this statue when I want to remember that. Now here's some other words that we'll see. Orbital is anything to do with the eye. So that socket that your eye sits in, that's part of your skull, is the orbital socket. So anything orbital is eye, anything otic is ear. So at some point in your life, you might have to go to an otolaryngologist. That's like an ear, nose, and throat doctor. So otic, anything to do with otic is the ear. Now, we've all heard about oral because we've heard of oral hygiene, brushing your teeth. So oral is the mouth. And then you might have heard someone say nasal allergies on those TV ads for all the different types of allergy medications they have. So anything nasal is your nose. So orbital eye, otic ear, oral mouth, nasal nose. And then the last one we're going to look at in this video is cervical. So cervical is your neck region. So the neck is the cervical region. So you might have heard about this. For example, the neck of the womb is called the cervix. So in females, when they have the uterus that the baby's inside, the neck of the womb is called the cervix. So you might have heard that before. So cervical is the anatomical word for neck. So I'm just going to escape out of this PowerPoint show and end the video here. And then in our next video, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some of the regional terms that are present in the trunk. So I'll see you soon for that video.